So I had a best friend that slept with two men that I was once involved with. Okay, so let's just take it back. Um, it all started in like 2011. Me and my friend were talking, and we were just going down the list and talking about our heartbreaks and all the guys that we had dated. And, you know, at the time, people felt like I was blinded by him, because he was younger than me. When we met in high school, I took him under my wing, you know what I mean? Like, he was like my little brother, and, there was really nothing that he could do. I always had his back, and no matter what people said about him, that was my little brother and that was my friend. So it really didn't matter to me what people had to say. But when it came down to people that was in our own circle, that was saying that he wasn't the friend that I thought he was, it was hard for me to believe that. And I just felt like, everybody always want to single Scotty out as the person that's a damn fool. Like everybody want to say that Scotty is blindly loyal to people when I'm just being loyal. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't see it, then I just don't see it. If it's not in my face, then it's not in my face. You know what I mean? Like, if I see it, I'll call it out, rectify the situation. If it's worth getting past, then we can get past it. You know what I mean? So I felt like a lot of people were really judgmental to me when it came down to him. Because at the end of it all, I didn't feel like I was a fool. I was more lenient to him than anything because he was younger than me. But that's besides the point. I don't think that I was a damn fool like people love to make me out to be with anybody that they are having problems with. It seems like whenever Scotty doesn't have a problem with somebody, then that means Scotty is a damn fool, did not have a problem with them because everybody else do. You know what I mean? If I don't see what they've done to me, then how am I being a damn fool? I don't see it. You know what I mean? And who wants to sit up and believe that their friend is the shiesty ass bitch? Nobody wants to believe that. You know what I'm saying? So please cut me some slack here, okay? So, after all of that, we were walking and everybody had been saying or suspecting that he had been talking to one of my exes because a year earlier he said, guess who I saw the other day? And we were all like, who? And he said his name. He said Walker. I talked about him on the video where I talked about I dated the two brothers. And he was like, Walker. And I said, where you seen him at? He said, I saw him at school. He gave me $20 for my birthday, but it wasn't nothing though. And everybody was looking like, okay, why would he give you $20 for your birthday? And why would he even give you anything? Like, what are you even doing being in contact with him knowing that your friend used to talk to him? You know what I'm saying? So, everybody was looking at me crazy. You know what I mean? Everybody was looking at me crazy. Like, he's fooling around with him. He's fooling around with him. You need to do something about it. You need to do something about it. I had my suspicions. But at the end of the day, I felt like if I don't have no proof, I can't just be going around, just pointing the finger. Now, that did set off an alarm, but for me, there wasn't enough proof for me to say, okay, this bitch fucking with one of my exes. You know what I mean? So, like a year later, back to when we were walking around at night, he just came. I asked him, I said, well, are you fooling around with Walker? Did you ever fool around with him? And he just told me, yeah. And I was like, so you did? And he was like, yeah. I said, but you knew that I used to talk to him, right? And he was like, I don't even remember you telling me that you used to talk to him. And I thought that was some straight up bullshit because I did tell him that I used to talk to him. Like, everybody in the whole group knew that I used to talk to him. He was one of the first people I told that I used to talk to him. So he wants to sit up here and give me this bold-faced lie and tell me that he didn't remember it. Okay, so I went home and I did not talk to him for 3 days. He had been trying to call me. I wouldn't answer his phone calls. I had been avoiding him for 3 days straight. So, after that, You know what I'm saying? He called, asked me to meet with him. So I met with him and he started crying and he was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. You're like a brother to me. And I honestly didn't know that you used to talk to him and all of that. And I was like, well, I did tell you. I remember telling you. I don't forget a lot of things. And a conversation that I had with you was something that I won't forget. You know what I mean? Like, that's not something that I will forget. A conversation like that, you know what I mean? So it was pretty much like, he cried and, he was saying that he was sorry. He never wanted to hurt me. And I'm like his big brother to him. And I'm looking out for him more than his own brother is. And I'm sorry this and I'm sorry that. And, I said, okay, this is one mistake he made. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I don't really give a fuck about that nigger anyway. You know what I mean? So it ain't really shit. I don't really give a fuck. It's just a principle that I like. Don't go behind my back fooling around with somebody that I used to fool around with. Because at the end of the day, you would never want me to do that to you. Like, there's several niggas that have tried to holler at me after they hollered at you. And I always turned them down. And I let you know from the gate that they were trying to holler at me and let you do whatever you want to do with that. So, but I let it go. The trust factor wasn't all the way clean, but at the same time, I forgave him for it because that was really the first real disagreement we really, really had. So, fast forward to like a mere 3 years later. My trust factor with him had gotten back up. We had gotten very, very close all over again. And after that, I had been seeing things on Instagram with yet someone else that I used to mess around with. And he knew how I felt about that person. Now, although we weren't officially together, but he knew how I felt about him, despite the fact that me and the guy had slept together and I had grew feelings for the guy and the guy was leading me on and he knew about the whole situation. Although we didn't never get to have a relationship due to the fact that he played me like a fool, he knew about it. So I seen him communicating with him on Instagram one time, and I was just wondering, like, why the fuck are they even conversing? Like, how do they even know each other? And I knew that he thought that that this particular guy was fine, and he was like, you got to him before me, blah blah blah, because he fine as hell and blah blah blah. And I remember that he said that he was going off on the guy because he felt like he was lying to me about something, and I was like, just leave it alone. Like, whether he lying or not, it don't really matter because at the end of it all, he don't want me, so just let it go. You know what I mean? So my cousin felt like he was on some fuck shit when he said that he was in his inbox in the first place. So, okay. That's when, you know what I mean, I saw that. And I called him. And I said, is this motherfucker trying to holler at you? Because if he is, it's going to be a problem. He was like, oh, no, it ain't nothing like that. And I'm like, okay. So at the time, at this point, I had just started working. And I had only had a job for like a good 3 weeks. My phone was off. My phone was off at the time. So I was working my ass off to get that phone cut back on. And when I got home, I got these Facebook messages just coming in because I got home under Wi-Fi and shit. These Facebook messages coming in. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? So I called them from the house phone. And I said, what's going on, y'all? Y'all scaring me. What's going on? And then my cousin was like, he has posted a picture of this motherfucker on his page. Like, it's him and this motherfucker out for dinner on his page. And I'm like, are you serious? And they were like, yeah. So I didn't know what to say. I'm like, that's very bold of him. Like, you're posting out the fact that y'all are out to dinner and shit like that. And then I went to work again one night and I got another message. By this time, my phone was back on. I got another message. And basically, he took another picture of him and basically saying it's family time or whatever. I was pissed off. Like, my feelings were deeply hurt behind that. Like I'm like, again, a second time, you gonna do me like that a second time? When all I've ever done was be loyal to you. I didn't got into beef with motherfuckers that I didn't even have a problem with, but to this day don't even like me because of my affiliation with you. I've always had your back. I'm always doing for you. Like when you're hungry, I'm buying you food. When you need, I give you this. When you just want some money, I'm giving you that. Like I'm being a big brother to you as I am to my younger brother at home. And this is how you keep doing me. This is how you constantly do me. When niggas that you used to talk to stay trying to hit me up, and I always curve them because of my respect, my loyalty, my love, and my brotherhood with you. But you just can't seem to respect me the same way I respect you. So that was fucking with me. Now I never got the chance to confront him. My cousin confronted him, and they got into a back and forth, and it almost led to a violent situation. You know, 'cause that's how we do shit. Turn violent around this motherfucker sometime. So then, I just stopped fucking with him for a while. I went without. I remember calling Justin, crying about the shit. Not literally crying, but calling him, venting him about the shit. And it was very hurtful because it's like the second time the shit happened. So, 3 months went by, I did not talk to him. And there were things that were going on in his life that I was proud of. Like, he's a part of the dance team, and he had like this recital. And normally, me and my cousin would have been there for him, because we were the closest to him. So we would have been there to support him. He had won an award. I wasn't there for it because I was mad with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a lot of important things going on. And I felt like I've been gone for 3 or 4 months. So maybe this was the time that I needed away from him for him to realize what the friendship really was. I reached out to him. Although against my best interest, I reached out to him and talked to him about it. He apologized. I told him that I did not trust him anymore. It's going to take me a while to trust him again. But at the end of it all, I can give you a second chance. But 3 strikes your ass out. I can't keep forgiving somebody that don't fucking respect me. That's one thing I can't keep doing. I can't keep forgiving a bitch that don't respect Scotty. You can't constantly keep disrespecting Scotty and think you're going to get away with it. You can't do that. You can't keep disrespecting me like that. It's not fair to me. It doesn't make me feel good about myself when you keep disrespecting me like that. It's not cool. It's not cool at all. So, we talked about it. We hugged it out. We cried about it. And he promised to never do that to me again. Now, that was 2 years ago. And things are on the up and up between me and him. Now, do I have my moments sometimes where I be side-eyeing him sometimes? Of course. That's natural when you've gone through 2 big situations with this person. And you've known them for 10 years. And sometimes when you have a long history with somebody, you want to make sure to keep your relationship intact. And he hasn't done anything to me. As far as I know, he hasn't done nothing to me, shiesty or anything like that. And he's way more protective of me these days than I am of him. I'm going to say that much. So it feels like he really wants to work on this relationship. And, it's been 2 years since that happened. So, I just want to keep trying to rebuild my trust in him. It's going to take some time because the first time he did it, I got over it fast. But this time, I stopped talking to him for 3 or 4 months. It took me 3 or 4 months before I talked to him. And I had to keep building that trust and have to watch him and see things. Because me, I'm a loyal person. So at the end of the day, my heart is big and my heart is pure. If I fuck with you and I consider you my friend, no matter what you do, there's nothing nobody can say to me that will make me turn on you. The only way that Scotty can stop fucking with you if it's you. Because I know my loyalties lie. You know what I mean? I know my loyalties lie at the end of the day. And I'm not a shiesty friend. I don't do nothing to be shiesty. I'm not a jealous friend. I'm always supportive of everybody. Even when they're not particularly supportive to me, I'm supportive to everybody. Especially those that I consider friends. You know what I mean? Like, whether or not you support me the same way I support you, I still try to throw you that bone. And I don't even expect the bone to be